Good evening, sports fans. Welcome from the Grid to the Rim Sports Talk Show. I'm Big Ken, joined by my co-host and best friend, Monty Brown. Wow.
What's up?
What's up? We're both wearing our Cowboys,
man.
as you can see.
Yes. Busy, crazy weekend to talk about, man. What happened?
Oh, man, what happened is Colorado-Oregon game was crazy. We could talk about that in detail here in a minute. Man, Colorado-Oregon was completely just off the chain. I mean, Oregon had a statement to make in that game.
Boy, did they make it.
Yeah, they did. NFL, our boys' defense is a little bit – I mean, our boys' offense looks a little bit scary in the red zone, so we can talk about that when we get to NFL talk. And then, Miami scored 70 points against Denver. And the crazy thing about that is Denver scored 20 points. So, I mean, it wasn't like they didn't score. So they must have scored really fast. So that's insane, man. So, yeah, it was a crazy weekend for sure in college and NFL with a lot of things going on. But let's talk about college first, Monty. What was your takeaway from the Colorado-Oregon game? Were you surprised in that game or you weren't?
Well, I didn't expect Colorado to win that game, but not to lose that bad. And it was mainly because Oregon wanted to make a statement. All the hoopla, all the hype around Deion Sanders and Colorado at all, going for clicks, wins, yada, yada, what he mentioned after the game. It was a statement game. Oregon was the better team. I expected Oregon to win and beat them by 20 points, not score 40 like that. But yeah. But at the same time, I think this is good for a team like Colorado. They don't have the talent that Oregon has, but something that they can look at as a building block, something they can build on. I know they had Travis Hunter out. Whether he played or not, it wouldn't have mattered. I know Shiloh Sanders did get hurt, bruised kidney, I believe, but it wouldn't have mattered. They were outmatched, and rightfully so. Oregon's been good for the past years, and Colorado's rebuilding.
Yeah, absolutely. My analysis was kind of the same thing. I did expect Oregon to win big, but I didn't think it would be 35-0 halftime and Colorado had only maybe one first down or two and only had 10 yards. They only had a couple yards of offense in the first half because of course the sacks took away a lot of their positive yards, so they were just almost negative yards at halftime. So yeah, it was 35-0 halftime. Like I said, I didn't expect that, but I did think, like you said, I thought Oregon would win by 20, 24 points or something like that. I did win by 3 or 4 scores, but I didn't think it would be, no 42-6 game. But one of my Navy friends who I don't know if you saw some of my posts on Facebook, he because I forwarded a post from my friend about saying how someone posted, one of my friends posted something about Deion Sanders about how he's not in any trouble, but a lot of people are still against him, kind of thing. Like, hey, a lot of people are not hoping that Deion Sanders wins, but there's a lot of coaches out there that have a lot of issues and other drama on their team. So why are people on Deion Sanders? So I kind of commented on that, and then he commented back with me saying he had a good point. He said I don't think people hate him. I just think, and other people might think that that they're just talking way too much about them, and they haven't really played anyone very good yet, and there's just too much talk about them early. That's what my Navy. He was actually one of my sailors who worked for me, on my last ship, the Nimitz. So he was just thinking, Oregon's gonna. He said Oregon's probably gonna blow him out and he was right. They did he said I don't have anything against Deion Sanders, but I don't. But all this hype is kind of annoying, kind of thing. I won't say he said that. I don't want to get his words wrong, but he was just saying, there's too much hype on Colorado, basically, or too early in the season. I think the media does do that sometimes. I really like Deion Sanders, but the media did kind of, in a way, set this up for the Oregon coach to get really pissed off and make a statement because they were talking about nothing about Oregon at all. Like you said, Oregon's been good for years and years. Like you said, they've been really good for the past 15, 20 years, and then they're always ranked. Right. And they're not getting any respect. And then they're talking about Colorado. Yeah, that definitely made him mad. So they wanted to whoop him, man. So that game was ugly. That game was ugly.
Definitely. If I was a coach, coaching against Colorado, I would use that as bulletin board material. Look, we're the number what? I think they're ranked 3, top 3
They're
team,
not
top
3.
5.
They're in the top 10. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and look at them, and we should be getting the press, not them. So yeah, I understand that. Deion's going to be Deion. He was like this in at Jackson State. This is just a bigger stage,
Yeah.
So more media, Division 1A is not, So yeah, it's a bigger stage where whatever he says is going to be bulletin board material,
Yeah.
and they're going to go through this all season.
Yeah.
And that's just the way he is. I mean, it might be putting a lot of pressure on his players. It is putting a lot of pressure on his players, but that's okay. It'll be better for him, and he's not going to change.
You got to learn how to handle pressure, and no matter what you do in sports and life, we had to work under pressure sometimes. I'm sure you've had pressure situations that you're working. I've had a lot of pressure situations in the Navy.
Yep, doing it now.
Working on a flight deck, you got to get things done, man. Like the clock is ticking, So yeah, it will be good for him. I have nothing against Deion. I did watch that before we move on to our next game. I did watch a little bit of that guy that you were telling me about, that Fearless show. Yeah, I didn't like him. So he did make some valid points about how Deion really didn't rebuild, how he just got a whole new team, for him. He kind of had a good point there, but then he was saying some other kind of crazy things, like he's still rebuilding, like he's just trying to find the right players for his team. So he's rebuilding,
right?
But he just didn't like, because it takes most coaches 3 or 4 years, to kind of get your team and that kind of thing. And he just automatically got 85 new players. I didn't think that was true, but I actually think it is. I don't know how that's even possible. I thought he would have to keep some players from the past, but I don't know how Deion Sanders made that happen. But I guess it's true that he did get 85 new players. That's pretty insane. I didn't think it was anything like, I thought that guy was wrong, but I think he was actually right about that. But that's interesting. But I don't think Deion's done anything wrong. He's done it all legally through NIL and things like that. People just don't like NIL, how he's doing it. So that's just what I think it is, because NIL is kind of still pretty new, 2 years. So, and he's taking advantage of the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and he did it. He's doing it faster than anybody else. So this is just the beginning. We might see more teams. Start from the bottom and rebuild a lot quicker with this NIL and transfer portal.
Right.
So it's just the beginning. He set a standard, and we're gonna see more of this.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, Deion is setting the stage, like you said. How do you think? So the game this Saturday, number 8 USC versus Colorado. Do you think Colorado will play better in that game? I think
they will play better.
Huh?
Yeah. Being at home, man. I watch the Fox Sports most of the time. Skip Bayless and them are going to be there. Joy Taylor and her team's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of celebrities, of course. A lot of hype around this game. I still expect USC to win, but Colorado shouldn't have any problem scoring. I was looking up some stats, and USC's defense is ranked 70, tied for 70. They've allowed a lot of points. I know they allowed San Jose State and Arizona State to score 28 points on them.
Absolutely.
Oregon's defense was ranked 11. Well, they are ranked 11, so that's a little bit of a tougher task. Shiloh Sanders is hurt with a bruised kidney, but he should be ready to go. Of course, they still won't have Travis Hunter yet. I expect a better game, and man, I'm going to miss it. I'll be working, but I would love to see that matchup between Caleb Williams and the Shedeur Sanders. That quarterback matchup, it should be a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think USC will still win, but USC's defense has been a problem. It was a problem for them last year. Their defense isn't very good, and they're not very good again this year, like you said. And Oregon's defense is top notch. So yeah, that was a tough challenge. And they're playing in Oregon and Eugene, and Colorado had his whole entire Oregon fan base against them. So I mean, they were ready just to kick their butts that game, like we already talked about opening the show. But I do think I absolutely do think Colorado will score some points. I don't think they'll win, but I do think it could be like a Wild Wild West shootout. And that's what happened with TCU and Colorado the first week. It became the Wild Wild West, and and Colorado just made a couple more plays than TCU did, but it was a high scoring game, so you never know. So obviously USC is better than TCU, so I don't think Colorado will pull off the crazy upset like they did in week 1, but it'll be close. I do think it'll be closer. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Last game before we get into NFL, number 10 Utah at Oregon State. I watched Wazoo and Oregon State play in the second half of last week's game, and that was a very good game. That went down. Wazoo won 38-35 at Wazoo, but Oregon State is much improved. They're ranked last year, and they beat the crap out of somebody in a bowl game last year. Actually, a pretty good team. I was surprised they just dismantled someone in the bowl game. I mean, they dominated. And I expected that to be a good bowl game, and they just blew them out. Oregon State used to be kind of the laughing stock of the Pac-12, but they've been good the past 2 years because the whole I can't remember what their matchup was called, the Oregon State matchup, but Oregon's been dominating that thing forever, and I think Oregon State upset them last year or something like that. So, and that's going to be another good game again, the Oregon State, because if they both remain ranked, because Oregon State is a lot better than what they used to be. So
yes,
I think they're playing at Oregon State. So but Utah has a really tough defense. They're feisty. Oregon State might be able to pull this one off, though. I think I got Oregon State, but it's going to be really close. It's going to be a nail-biter game like it was against Wazoo. So, but Utah is tough, and they are the better team on paper, being ranked number 10, and Oregon State is 19. But I got Oregon State at home. I think they're going to avenge their loss last week.
Yeah. I don't know too much about either of these teams. I know Utah's more of a always been a more power type team.
Yep.
Oregon's been a more wide open, exciting offense. Utah's defense has always been good. They've always had good offensive linemen. They're tough. Never liked them, but they're always good. They're always good. But yeah, I would go with my head on this one. I would like to see Arizona State pull this one off, just because of Arizona State, Oregon State,
yeah,
to pull this one off. But yeah, it should be a good matchup. Two totally different teams, offensive wise. So it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, the old Clemson quarterback is playing there. I can't say his name, but he played a year or two at Clemson, then he transferred. And he had a good year last year at them, and he's having another good year this year. Because he did good at Clemson, but he kind of struggled a little bit because he took over for, the quarterback that's in the NFL now. I'm talking about the Jacksonville quarterback. I know his name. Trey Lawrence. What's his last name? Lawrence.
Yes. Oh,
I know his last name's Lawrence, but you know what I'm talking about. He
right.
took, the Hawaiian kid is really good, and he's big. He's like 6'5" and 250, so he's like linebacker size, But he's playing really good for Oregon State right now the past year or two. So that's one reason why they got better, because they have a really good quarterback play. Let's get into let's talk about before the Thursday night game. What do you think about the Vikings being 0-3, throwing a curveball? Did you expect that? Because I sure as heck didn't. They've lost a lot of close games.
No. 2-1 at the least. Not this bad, but I've seen them play one game, and they're playing the regular record shows. I mean, weird. I didn't expect that from. I forgot who they're playing this week. I think another 0-3 team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are.
I might have that wrong. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're playing the Panthers. That should be interesting. But I expect them to win that game, by the way. They should beat the Panthers. But it's a surprise to me about the Vikings. I have Detroit winning that division. But, man, I didn't think the Vikings would start off 0-3.
Yeah, the first game of the year, I know they lost a close one to Tampa Bay, I think, like 2017. And then the Thursday night game against the Eagles, the primetime game, like I said, Kirk Cousins obviously has a bad rap about that, but in the last couple of primetime games, I think he's played really well, but the problem is Minnesota's defense is not what it used to be. They've fallen apart. Kirk Cousins went up against the Eagles. He threw for 4 touchdown passes, well over 300 yards, like almost 400 yards. He had some crazy numbers, and he did everything he could. And it was the same thing in the opening round wildcard playoff game against the Giants. No one expected the Giants to beat them, but Kirk Cousins played good. No one expected the Giants to have a good offense, because the Giants have been struggling on offense all season. Their defense was keeping them engaged, and all of a sudden, of course, Saquon Barkley did have a really good comeback here, and he had a good game against Minnesota. But Daniel Jones was kind of a surprise in that game, because the receivers did much better than what they usually did, I thought, throughout the regular season. So but I thought Kirk Cousins has played really well, but unfortunately, as a team, they're just losing. They're losing games, man. But
I'm usually on his case. Yeah, when they play national television, I'm usually on his case because he normally doesn't play well. But yeah, that game he proved me wrong. And yeah, like you mentioned, it was the defense.
And it was the defense against the Giants too. The Giants couldn't stop the.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vikings couldn't stop the Giants' offense. I mean, they scored 31 points. That's was like what? The Giants haven't scored that many points all year long. But tonight's game, Lions at Packers, that's going to be a good one. Lions are 2-1, and so are the Packers. God, and Jared Goff is like this reinvented himself in Detroit, man. I like what he's doing. But Jordan Love isn't off to a bad start either. He looked really good in week 1 against the Bears. Week 2, I think they blew a lead against Atlanta, and Atlanta came back to beat them. I'm not sure if that was Jordan Love's fault, because I didn't watch the game, but I know he had good stats in that game. But I heard Atlanta came back from behind, so I don't know if the offense fell apart in that game, or was the defense, or what it was. But I know Atlanta squeaked out a victory in week 2, and then last week the Packers came from behind 17-0 against the Saints to win 18-17. So I gotta give Jordan Love credit. Obviously, he's not on Aaron Rodgers level, but he's not giving Aaron Rodgers level for a long time, because Aaron Rodgers has been playing for almost 20 years, and he's a veteran future Hall of Famer, and I think Jordan Love is just getting started. I think he's doing just fine. So I hope the Cheeseheads, don't. I think they're being okay with them now. I just hope they don't. I don't think they will, but I just hope they don't turn on them too early, because, if you drop some games, here and there, because of him just getting started with, Green Bay. But I think he's going to be good. But I got the Lions. Yeah. I think I got the Lions. I think the Lions. I mean, do you think the Lions can do it 2 times in a row, winning in Green Bay?
Yeah, they're favored by 2.5, believe it or not, at Green Bay, and I think they'll win this game.
Yeah.
I expect Jared Goff to have a field day.
Yeah.
Man, I like that tight end they have from Detroit before have him on fantasy football, and I didn't play him last week, but I'm playing him tonight. So should be a good game. They have St. Brown on that offense, the receiver, the very good receiver. It should be a good game.
Yeah.
So, and like you mentioned about Jordan Love, he had 3 years to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, just like Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's paying off. I think he's playing well. It should be a good game. I believe Aaron Jones is playing tonight. He was out last week. I expect a shootout, but I'm picking Detroit to win this game.
Okay.
So I'm Green Bay.
So we both got Detroit. They can do it 2 years in a row. Of course, we know what happened last year. They took Green Bay out of the playoffs by beating them in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. That was impressive. Go through some games quickly. Falcons at Jaguars. Jaguars are off to a really bad start. I think they're 1-2, but they need to win this game. I think they will. I think somehow they'll squeak this out. Lawrence and company will finally. I think they'll even out their record 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Bijan Robinson from the Falcons. He's the man right now.
Yeah, he's playing.
But really yeah, like you said. This is on a neutral field too. I believe it's in London.
Yeah, that's right. London game. You're right.
Yeah.
So always play.
So, but no, I have Jacksonville winning this game as well. They need to win this game. Surprisingly, 1-2, like you mentioned, but no, they're loaded, man. They still got a couple good receivers. ETN as a running back.
Yeah.
I expect them to win this game.
Yeah, I think they have a good defense too. I think I forgot. Jaguars always play in London. I know the London people really like the Jaguars. They support Jaguars like crazy. Every year the Jaguars are there the past 3-4 years, it seems like. Rams at Colts. I got Rams. Colts did get their first win last week, but I think their rookie quarterback got hurt, like concussion, right? I don't know if he's coming back because he took a bad hit. He's a really big guy, the Florida rookie. Yeah, he needs to learn how to slide.
Yeah.
But
yes.
But I think Rams got him because they got Matthew Stafford, and I think Rams are going to get this one. They have a veteran team. I think Rams will win in Indianapolis. You never know, but I'm picking Rams.
Yeah, the Colts had, I believe, Minshew playing in place of
He's
the
decent.
rookie
Yeah.
quarterback last week, so that helped them against Baltimore. I still have a hard time believing they won that game, but yeah, the Rams should win this game.
This should be an intriguing matchup, and that's Ravens at the Browns. Both physical, really good defensive teams. Browns are off to a really good start this year. I think the Ravens are okay too, but I think the Browns are doing a little bit better. I know the Browns are 2-1. I think the Ravens are 2-1 also, but I could be wrong. But I know Browns are definitely 2-1. This is a hard choice. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is really good, and they have a good team, but I know their running back is hurt again. Dobbs, that poor guy keeps on getting hurt, man.
Yeah, wow.
He's always got these. Yeah, that guy just can't stay healthy. Unfortunately, he's good though. That's a hard choice. I'm gonna go with the home team. That's probably one of the hardest choices I got. But I think the Browns. It's gonna be a close game. But I think Browns will squeak it out. Probably in a low scoring game.
Yeah, boy, that should be a good quarterback matchup with this. The two Jacksons playing against Watson,
Watson,
and
yeah.
then Jackson playing against each other. So yeah, it should be good. The Ravens have had bad luck with running backs. So Dobbins out, like you mentioned, they have Gus Edwards, like a 3 running back rotation. Well, so does Cleveland, pretty much with the guy that got hurt. Name escapes me, but they do have Kareem Hunt with them. Yes, Nick Chubb. And they had Ford, who nobody heard of except for that game, and he had, I believe, 2 touchdowns last week or 1. So
yeah,
but I have Cleveland winning at home.
Yeah, missing Chubb will hurt because Chubb is a beast. He's made himself into an NFL quarterback, and he had a really nasty injury. It was gruesome to look at, but he didn't even look like he was hurt on the sideline. I didn't see the game, but it just looked like he didn't look like he was in a whole lot of pain, and you see what happens. And that was just disgusting. And I was surprised he wasn't just in tremendous amount of pain. He seemed like he was just kind of laying there and sitting down. Yeah. He didn't. He
same knee he hurt in college.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully he comes back because he's good. What we were talking about earlier, Vikings at Panthers. I definitely got the Vikings. Panthers did play well in Seattle last week. The rookie guy from Alabama, the quarterback, I think he was hurt with something. Not serious injury. He might be back, but I know Big Red was playing for him, the old TCU quarterback, the old Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, Andy Dalton. He played well in Seattle, but Seattle played really well. That was a good game. Seattle played better, but I definitely got the Vikings. They got to get their first win. If they go 0-4, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, they should get out the cellar with this game. I think they'll win this game without any problem. What's going to be interesting, Adam Thielen, the receiver that played for Minnesota for a while, he's with Carolina, so that's going to be pretty good. Him coming back there playing against his old team. But I still have Minnesota winning this game.
Yep. Bengals at Titans. Derrick Henry hasn't gotten off to a good start this year. I hope he has a breakout game this game. Both teams are struggling, 1-2. Joe Burrow's struggling a little bit, which is surprising because usually he's Joe Cool, but he seems to be struggling. I think he will bounce back because that guy is just too good. I know he's got a ton of confidence. I still think they're going to lose this game, but I think he'll play better. I hope Derrick Henry needs to start doing what Derrick Henry does because he's on my fantasy team. I think I still got the Titans.
Yeah, he's on one of mine too.
Yeah.
2 yards per carry. Just ain't going to cut it, Derrick. Get some yards, man.
Yeah, you're fine.
I think they'll win this game too.
Okay, this is going to be a really good game. The Dolphins at the Bills, and we all know the Dolphins scored 70 points last week against Denver. This is going to be a good game. I don't know who to pick. I think the Dolphins are still undefeated, one of the very few undefeated teams left, and the Bills are 2-1. Oh, and it's at Buffalo. My God, that's another tough game.
The Bills are favored.
Yeah, the Bills are favored because they're at home, which makes sense. But I'm going Dolphins, man. Something crazy about them this year. And they're always really good in the first half of the season. The Dolphins' problem is in the second half of the season. And we're still in the first half of the season. So I got the Dolphins. I could be wrong because that's going to be.
I'm going to take the Bills.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Bills at home. Allen's been playing better. I know he tends to do a little too much at times. But after that awakening they got in week 1, he settled down. So I think they're going to keep rolling and win this game.
All right. We just got a couple minutes left, so we'll go over a couple more teams. We can't miss our boys. Patriots at Cowboys. The Cowboys, of course, you know we both got the boys, everybody, but the Cowboys better win this game after what they did last week. They better win, man. But I am worried because it's Bill Belichick. Yeah. Patriots are always tough. Every year we play the Patriots, it's always a close game. So it's not. I know it's not going to be a blowout. Cowboys got to get tough this game and just find a way to win this game. The run defense scared me. They were good the first two games, but the run defense got tore up last week, and the Cowboys' red zone offense is worrying me. They need to get that red zone offense going. They're kicking way too many field goals. That's how they lost. So they got to do something this week.
Yeah, this is where we're missing Zeke. And speaking of Zeke, man, he's going to come on fire.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to feed him that ball like crazy. Knowing that Dallas's run defense is horrible. It's been horrible. Dallas needs to be ready. It won't be easy. Belichick is known for taking away your best player. He's going to double CeeDee Lamb and dare Dak to beat him. We need a good game by Dak.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb was kind of quiet last week too, with only 4 catches. So, yeah, we had to squeak this game out, like you said. And Zeke is coming back, and he had a really good game last week. We're a couple games short, but we're out of time. But we got most of them. But in closing, yeah, let us know your choices, your picks. Let us know how your team is doing, if you agree or disagree with us. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And we'll be back next week. Got any closing comments, Monty?
Yeah, I'll just back what you said. Keep it up. We invite your comments. Thank you for subscribing.
All right, people. It's almost game time for Thursday Night Football, so peace out. Have a good night.
All right.